It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook and on the free Odyssey app.
High noon and welcome in to the Mason Crosby Show on this absolutely beautiful Thursday. My name is Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. The kicker is here, Mason Crosby, and it is round one, NFL Draft Day, baby. How you feeling about that, Mace?
Actually, I wasn't overly excited. Just last year was so crazy. Yeah, being in Green Bay and just I was running like a chicken with my head cut off, doing all these events, doing the draft day stuff. So that was the energy around that. I feel like nothing can quite measure up to that moment. But I'm excited today. I got a lot of stuff going in my mind just thinking about past drafts. So we'll dive into that. Yep. But I know we got someone on the line right away here.
We do. Remember when they sent the car to the wrong place to pick up Jordy or something?
Oh, yeah.
That was like that.
We had to walk out of the whole building,
I know.
with all the, that was wild.
All the craziness last year as the draft, of course, was hosted by Green Bay. Well, it is hosted in Pittsburgh this year. And joining us now on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law, one call, that's all. Co-host of the PM team on 93.7 The Fan in Pittsburgh, Chris Muller joins us. Chris, how you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm good, guys. It is a Chamber of Commerce day here in Pittsburgh, too, which is not a guarantee on April 23rd of any given year. I think it was a week ago, the low temperature was like 28 degrees. So it's like 75 and sunny. The city's showing off. They've closed a reasonably minimal number of roads in one of the hardest to navigate cities in the United States. So
Yes,
everything coming up Pittsburgh so far.
That is fantastic. Well, thank you so much for taking some time. I know you're busy today, so thank you for jumping on.
No, my pleasure. I mean, I'll tell you what, the good thing about being a Steelers analyst and a Pittsburgh radio host is you really only have to pay attention to two areas of the field right now for their pick at 21, which is offensive line and wide receiver. It's usually there's three or four, I would say, that they could go on any given year, and then it crystallizes maybe down to two if you're lucky on draft night. But it's been either guard, Benga Ioane from Penn State, or tackle or wide receiver for what seems like the entirety of this process, guys. So it's been kind of, in a weird way, like a little boring to just keep saying Jordan Tyson, Denzel Boston, Benga Ioane, Caden Proctor, et cetera. But that's kind of where we're at.
So no plans to draft a quarterback. Is that what you're saying? I mean, are we going to see some fireworks tonight there in Pittsburgh?
Aaron, WWE, Aaron Rodgers music hits. Let's go.
I'll tell you what, I don't know. You guys obviously being in Green Bay and Mason, obviously you being a teammate of his, you saw him at his absolute apex, and his apex is very tough to beat if you're thinking about quarterbacks from NFL history all at their best. You don't name too many before you get to Aaron Rodgers at his best. But he wasn't that guy last year, and this whole saga of him, will he, won't he, does he want to play, I think has worn thin on people. And it's made Art Rooney II, I think, look a little bit weak because the Steelers keep moving the goalposts to accommodate whatever Rodgers, we wanted him to make a decision pretty quickly. And then that pretty quickly part passed. And, we wanted him to make a decision before the draft. Well, that's not going to happen now. And so that has frustrated people. But I think because this quarterback class ended up looking so unimpressive in sort of when we all thought, this is going to be a big class, I don't think they're going to take a guy until at least late day 2 and possibly day 3. So there should not be any sort of weird Ty Simpson situation developing here. If there is, I'm standing right next to the Roberto Clemente Bridge right now. I might walk up onto it and do a swan dive into the water if they draft Ty Simpson in the first round.
Oh, that's hilarious. Well, I hope for your sake that doesn't come to pass here tonight. Lots kind of rolling through my mind right now as now Pittsburgh is tied to Green Bay in a lot of different ways here the last couple of years. Yep. Coach Mike McCarthy now at the helm there as well. And just kind of want to know just hear from your perspective as a reporter there in Pittsburgh, what you're hearing on the street, kind of what the vibe is with him taking the helm as the head coach there now.
kind of a strange situation in the sense that I think when he got the interview in the first place, I was like hey, let's bring somebody new in that's young. It's worked for them with Chuck Noll. It worked with Bill Cowher. It worked with Mike Tomlin. It produced
kind of like thinking about starting over like Mike Tomlin, right? Like what they did with him, 20 years ago.
Yeah, like just, hey, we're going to take somebody who is not necessarily tethered at all to the city of Pittsburgh, and we're going to do what has maybe, it would have been a little different because it was a bunch of defensive coordinator types who were brought in as young guys, and that's always worked. And I thought, okay, how about Nate Steelhouse from the Rams? Like, here's this guy. It would be a huge promotion. Is he ready? Who knows? But they're not really ready to contend. If in 2 years he looks like a great head coach, then you've got your guy for 2 decades. The McCarthy thing, we all kind of scoffed at it. We said, oh, a nice courtesy interview for a guy from Greenfield. Oh, his dad has, big gyms in the run. That's the bar. Everyone knows Mike McCarthy. You can literally, there's a non-zero chance if you go out to a random shot, beer, and wing joint on a given night in the off season, there's a non-zero chance you would see Mike McCarthy.
Well, here's the thing.
To the core.
Yeah, here's the thing is I played there multiple times, but I know Pittsburgh well just because of Mike McCarthy and the stories that he told about the bar and about Pittsburgh. It's Pittsburgh tough.
Macho, baby.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Macho. Let's go.
You probably know more about Greenfield than anybody in the state of Wisconsin, that neighborhood.
Exactly.
That's where he grew up. To get to the point, though, I think when they brought him in for an interview, people just thought it was a nice courtesy. And then, the situation rapidly crystallized into, oh, wait a minute. They're doing some interviews. They're satisfying certain conditions for the Rooney Rule. And then, oh, my God, this is actually their guy. And I think that was actually greeted pretty negatively. I know I did. I said McCarthy's like a B minus coach for me, but this is an F higher because it's not imaginative. It shows that they as a franchise are still obsessed with just trying to win a playoff game in the immediate future instead of restarting this thing and recalibrating, because Art Rooney, I think, feels like that's going to be his legacy if he goes out with 10 straight years without a playoff win, let's say. And so they made what I thought was a pretty uninspiring hire, and I was pretty hacked off about it. And other than the fact that it'll finally be an offensive-minded guy, which people have been pining for here with some of the retrograde offenses they've run in recent years, I don't get the sense people are super excited about it.
Oh, well, all right. Well, hey, that's I love the honest take, and only time will tell, right? So, we got Chris Mueller joining the Mason Crosby show here. He's co-host of the PM Team on 93.7, The Fan in Pittsburgh. We're going to talk about the draft there in Pittsburgh. We're talking about again the connections with Green Bay and now with Pittsburgh and everything going on there. I do have to ask that, you're saying they're not going to take a quarterback. They don't know what's going on with Aaron. I looked at the quarterbacks on the Pittsburgh roster. Who is going to lead this team for the Steelers? This Steelers offense going into this season.
So I can rapid fire in this way. I think there's still a high likelihood that Aaron Rodgers is their starting quarterback. I do think there's this belief that just like with last year when he told Mike Tomlin, and Mike Tomlin admitted this midseason, that he knew Rodgers was going to be here, even though Rodgers hadn't said anything and was on one of his many off-season retreats.
Nice.
I think there is a prevailing sense that even though he's been incommunicado as far as what his plans are, that he's talked to them enough and they think he's going to be the guy. So, okay, let's assume that is the case. If it's not, though, they have just talked sunshine and rainbows about Will Howard, which I find odd because they waited until the 6th round to actually draft Will Howard, but they have tried to sell that bill of goods to anyone who will listen that they think this guy could really be a starter. And with McCarthy's quarterback reputation, maybe you could squint and see it. I think the guy that they are going to take in this draft is somebody who I'm not a huge fan of, because I'm a believer that if you take a lot of sacks in college, you'll take a lot in the pros. If you throw a lot of interceptions in college, you'll throw a lot in the pros. But they have become, it seems, more and more enamored with Carson Beck. And that's a guy who's thrown 30 picks in the last 3 years. And he's been on stacked teams, obviously. He had a very good playoff, got Miami to the national title game. But he seems to check a bunch of the boxes that McCarthy believes in. You got to have big hands to play in the AFC North. You got to be a big guy at quarterback. It's he's a classic central casting guy. He looks the part. Can he actually play the role, though, is a very open question. But I suspect that's the guy they are targeting right now in probably the 3rd round, if I had to guess.
Gosh, I'm just envisioning the stage tonight and there's just this like little hut like in the back, and Aaron's in there, and they're just they just open the door, everything goes dark, and then he
what's
just
his
emerges.
music? What's his music? Is it like a Brock
It's just
Lesnar?
no, it's
type
like the long like horn pipe thing, right? Like where it's just like and like it's like playing like just soothing sounds for the crowd.
Oh, yeah.
Aaron emerges out of the smoke and the darkness and just takes the city by storm.
Let's go.
Would you be for that, Chris? Would you be for that? That's my question.
Do you want the theatrics?
I would not be for that. And the funny thing is, you guys bring it up, and it is a funny thought. Like, I thought for a minute you were saying the horn music, he was going to be doing a Ricola commercial or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Swiss Alps. Or like a wrestling entrance. I mean this, and I'm trying to I always try to take the temperature of the city. How do people feel? I think because it's the draft and because you're pretty much primed to cheer almost anything unless you're a Jets fan, I think he would get a positive reception, but I don't think it would be like the roof blows off and here comes Stone Cold Steve Austin stomping out to deliver stunners to everybody. Nice. I don't think it would be that way, because I think people saw his last act last year and were like, really? This again? Like, he looks feeble, if I'm being honest, against the Texans. A lot of people do against that defense.
Yeah,
he had no answers for them. And people saw that. And people are wondering, well, what's really going to be different now?
That's a great point. Chris Muller, co-host of the PM team on 93.7 The Fan in Pittsburgh. We know you got your show coming up. What is your setup like there? Last year, Mason and I were both up there. We had a partnership with Buffalo Wild Wings. I don't know if that's still going on with the national folks, but what do you guys have set up near the stage, near the complex, inside one fence, outside of another fence, all the different security things you have to go through? Well, how's it look this year, Chris?
So, the north side of Pittsburgh, I know you guys are probably at least somewhat familiar, Mason, especially with just having played here. It's a jewel of a baseball stadium, and I'll just call it what it is, a pretty nondescript football stadium with a giant parking lot with Three River Stadium separating them, Okay. So that's the setup. And it's outside the football stadium. They have built out the traditional NFL stage. Yep. They have closed most of the surface roads. We are on the Riverwalk area of PNC Park, which is through the gates, but outside the stadium proper, I guess is the best way to describe it. So we got a nice view of downtown. The NFL has done their usual sphere or whatever of influence where they shut everything down. So I am lucky. I live in a part of the suburbs close to the city where it's very easy to get here, but we're at PNC Park, and the Pirates, obviously smartly, who are on the road right now, have opened PNC Park for all of this. So that's cool. Going to be an epicenter for a lot of people. People are going to be shuttling in and out. There's going to be a radio row. I think Philly, Kansas City, and a couple other cities have sent their shows on the road here. So I'm about to walk up some steps and actually go to our broadcast location, but it's at PNC Park, and fun. I got to admit this, as a native Pittsburgher, it is hard enough to get around this city. There are plenty of memes about here are your options, and it's 4 different ways you could go across a bridge. You have 50 yards,
and none of them are straight. They're all twisty.
None of them. They're all twisty. I've lived here for 41 years, and it never gets that easy and that comfortable. But I think they've done as good a job as you could with kind of a wonky area to get it settled and situated. So I think it's going to be pretty good, and the weather should be, for 2 out of these 3 days at least, pretty good for everybody that comes down.
Yeah, that race last year to Thursday was great, but then Friday was pretty rainy.
Yeah, and it got a little chilly. So,
yeah.
Green Bay in late April. Who would think?
Who would have thought?
Shocking,
right?
Shocking.
They're not putting a dome over anything there in Green Bay either. So, tell me about this, the buzz in the city. I know what it was in Green Bay, and people showed up in droves. Expecting a huge crowd, I'm assuming, there in Pittsburgh. It's so cool to now have this draft on the road. I think that really brings that energy and that buzz to cities that never got to experience this in the past. Talk about what can you feel that starting to build, and kind of what you're looking forward to tonight. And are you a chaos guy where you want to see somebody take a swing on a player and something crazy happen, or do you think things are just going to kind of slot out in those, at least in those first top 10 picks, like they normally do?
I think the top 10 is going to be pretty straightforward, although I guess I'm on a little bit of a limb. I do think David Bailey is going second overall.
That's what everyone – I've been hearing that quite a bit.
Okay.
There's been chatter that it's not Arvel Reese, it's him. Bailey was a wrecker at Texas Tech. I thought he was awesome. As far as like the city like atmosphere here, I mean, you guys work in sports radio too, so you know this. The average person who either calls, texts, tweets the show, hits you up on YouTube, whatever, they want to whine and complain about what they don't like.
Yes.
There has been a weird undercurrent of like people here going, I'm not going anywhere near the city. Are you kidding me? But when you get on the ground here, like this is the first time I've been on the ground this week near the process. Everyone's excited. I've seen, even Raiders fans, this is their time to get excited right now.
That's the only
I've got
time
a guy
of the
in
year.
a Raiders jersey walking past. Yeah, exactly. Walking past me now with his kid. So I think on the ground, it's fun. I think people are excited. I don't think it's going to be that chaotic. I think after the top 10 picks, I'm sure you guys read the same analysts I do. Everyone kind of thinks like players 11 through 50 or thereabouts are basically like similar grade prospects. So I think that's going to be interesting to kind of observe how that plays out. But I think on the ground, it's excitement. And then, the sort of chatter on social media is, I would never go down to the city to deal with all the traffic and the parking or whatever. But I think that's just kind of a byproduct of everyone likes to complain on social media. So I do think it's going to be pretty good. I think the one thing we all learned, I don't know if you guys knew this last year, we were unaware because the one big question was how the heck are they going to fit the 500,000 people they expect to come down here into a reasonably small and geographically oddball area.
Right.
I didn't realize they count people like 3, 4, 5, 6 times. You can be one person going to get a beer.
Yep.
And so that made a lot more sense. And we tried to get a guy on from our local kind of our partner TV station here who did the report on that, and they 86'd it. And so we were kind of like, maybe they don't want people knowing that this is the accounting that they're doing here.
Chris Muller, the PM team, 93.7 The Fan in Pittsburgh. Real quick, we got a break in about 60 seconds. The Pirates are in town this week. They've started pretty well. Everybody in the NL Central's over 500. How you feeling about the Pirates?
I think this is the best team they've had since 2015. Did you guys happen to see what O'Neal Cruz did last night?
He is just, he's insane.
He hit a ball off the top of the foul pole, like so hard and at such an absurd trajectory that it skipped into the upper deck. They said it went 430 feet. It was a 3-run homer. He had a one the night before robbed from him, a 3-run homer in Texas that would have changed that game. He has figured it out. He has more hits already this year in like 32 plate appearances against left-handed pitching than he did all of last year. He's got 4 homers. He's a monster. Connor Griffin's a slick fielder, and I think the bat's going to come along. Brandon Lau's been a great acquisition. Like, they actually tried to win this offseason, and it looks like it's working. So I think with their pitching, with an actual major league lineup, they are going to be there right till the end.
All right, Chris, go get to work. I know you got your show to host, and you got a whole weekend of fun there in Pittsburgh. Have an absolute blast.
Mitch Mason, thank you guys for having me. We certainly will.
All right. Have fun. Appreciate you, Chris.
That's Chris Muller, co-host of the PM team on 93.7 The Fan in Pittsburgh. Donald Driver is next, and Tommy Wirtz is here.
Yeah.
Man,
what's bigger news? That Drive's coming on here in this next segment, or that Tommy's back in the house?
It's like 51-49 maybe.
Okay.
Like Tommy's close.
He's already smiling, dude. That guy, I can just feel Donald's smile.
He's already
over here in the backstage.
lit up.
All right. Donald Driver is next. This is the Mason Crosby Show. Hi, Tommy.
On the inside by the 49ers. With protection wide open is Donald Driver. And he pitches it all, gets away, and is into the end zone. A touchdown for Driver.
Don't mess with the Donald Driver. This is the Mason Crosby Show. I'm Mitch Thunder Nellis. Tommy Wirtz is here as well. Our thanks again to Chris Muller in Pittsburgh for jumping on the guest hotline powered by Gruber Law and jumping on the guest hotline now. Great friend of show, great friend of the community, great friend of Cousin Subs, great friend of Smiling, great friend of dancing, great friend of pickleball, and great friend of flag football. He is Donald Driver. Donald, thanks so much for jumping on the show today.
No, God, thanks you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I hear lots going on in your world as always. Just not over there taking any breathers. So I just want to dive right in. I know Mitch was really excited about this girls flag football initiative that you got going, and just kind of want to hear your side of like what's happening here in the Milwaukee area. And why you're getting involved with this girls flag football program,
and hopefully throughout the state as well. Yep.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. We really wanted to bring something to the state of Wisconsin. We've done so many great things in the state, but I'm big on girls sports. When I became the ambassador for a Surge program, BSN, right, I decided that they made me the chief motivation officer for girls to empower girls in sports. And my first thing is how do I continue to do that? And so we have a big following in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where we have over 17 schools playing in Tulsa, Oklahoma for flag football. we've had over now 6 girls this year going to get scholarships to go play flag football in college. And so we've been really trying to push this thing moving forward in Wisconsin. It took us 2 years to come up with the right team to make it work. And so I reached out to Jody at the Racines United Racines community and started talking about like, hey, we got to do this. We got to make it work. And she was so excited. And so we made the big announcement about 3 months ago that we were going to launch flag football in Racine, Kenosha, and Whitefish Bay. And so we're going to start that season off this fall. We'll have a camp coming up in June or July where we're going to do a camp for girls that really want to play this game and feel like they can play this game at the next level. A lot of girls grew up, as we all know, grew up around football, especially being in Green Bay. And I think they want to play. They just didn't have the opportunity. So we're going to give them that opportunity to play right here and hoping that with this opportunity that we can, get the state sanction to have every girl's playing. When you got colleges that's now offering scholarships right here in the state of Wisconsin, that's so cool. Why not make the state sanction where now girls can just stay home and play, right? They don't have to travel outside the state. So we're hoping that WIAA can make this thing happen and make it sanctioned, and then we can move forward. And now it's just not the city of Racine, Kenosha, and Whitefish playing. It's the entire state.
All right, now Donald, my daughter's a sophomore at Whitefish Bay.
Yeah.
And she just played 2 years of JV basketball. She's on the varsity softball team. But I said to her last night, I know Donald Driver. He's bringing
in a good word.
Yeah, he's bringing flag football. He's bringing flag football to Whitefish Bay. And she was like, I could get into that. I think there's going to be some excitement with this.
Yeah, it's been excitement. I think so many people is just trying to wrap their head around it. It's just like, it's uneducated behind it, right? We play, it's a big draw in Texas. It's a big draw in Oklahoma and Alabama, Florida, California. They do it already, right? Those are some of those states are already sanctioned. There's 15 states that's sanctioned right now, but we got to get everyone with NCAA making an announcement that they're going to now have flag football as a collegiate sport. Right, the LA 28 is going to be the Olympics. It's going to have flag football for girls and men and women. And so why not start this? And so we're gonna start early. We're gonna start moving fast. And so we're so excited that we get to bring this to the state of Wisconsin.
That's awesome. Drive, it's starting out as will this be a club program?
No, it's going to be with every high school.
Or is it actually directly in the school?
Yeah, it's directly in the high school. So it's going to be all high school girls. Flag football league. Yeah. So it's gonna be good. I got 2 daughters. So I told Christina, she's at the University of St. Thomas. I told her, I'm like, when your track career is over, you still can get 4 years in flag football. So, she still want to play. And she's played a little bit. And so she's excited. My Charity, my youngest, now that, we're doing it in Texas, she's going to play. She's going to play flag football. So it's just becoming a sport. And I think it gives our women, it gives them another platform. It gives them another opportunity, right?
Sure.
Our girls get overlooked, man. And so me having 2 daughters, it's kind of near and dear to my heart to be able to say, hey, here's what we're going to provide. You just now have to take the resources and use them. And so both of my daughters are going to play. And so we hoping that, this not just, it works out for every single person that has a daughter that see their daughter playing at the next level that may not even play. They may be Mason, this is what we're starting to learn in this game, right? Some of these girls that are they're the 10th person on the basketball team. They're never going to get play time, right? But they make it, and then all of a sudden they may be on a cheer team or whatever. But this could be a sport that can take them to the next level, give them another opportunity, not just to get a great education, play the sport, but also get a great education.
That's right. Girl dads unite. Let's go.
That's right.
This is it.
Girl dads right here. Donald, you're speaking my language. I'm going to see Randy Drew, the AD for Whitefish Bay today.
Yeah.
And I'm going to bug you. I'm going to tell him we're going to pick the team tonight. We're going to start naming all the names and going through it. Oh, I cannot wait. This is awesome.
Well, just remember this: you can't have no more than 25 girls on those teams. So if you get, we have to do a JV or varsity team. You never know.
Hey, that's fine. Let's go. Yeah. Awesome.
I love it. Well, yeah, Thunder's ready to coach if that means getting his girls on the team.
I'll do it. Hey,
he'll volunteer over there.
I've coached basketball and softball for long enough. I'm ready to jump in flag football. Let's go.
I love it.
All right, so you got this going on. Obviously you got all sorts of pickleball stuff going on with Pickleball Kingdom, and you got a tournament coming up this weekend. And how's your game?
It's getting better and better every day. I think that's the fun part about it. I don't think I ever play this game at the pro level because I don't take it that serious. I kind of like to just have fun. And then I realized, when I play people, they take it a little bit serious. So I'm like, shoot. So I just like to go out there and have a good time and, and try to make some plays and do some things different. Then when I do a little trick play, they go, oh, I never seen that. No, that was cool. I was like, okay, see that. So that gives me hope that I can still play this game. I'm not trying to go pro it.
I can imagine Mark Cass just turning into a completely different animal when he's on the pickleball court.
He is a beast out there, man.
He's all smiles and then gets on that court and is just a machine.
And this is the thing. He thinks nobody can beat him. Nobody can beat him, right? Even though he loses 11-7, and he's like, I didn't lose. Yeah, you don't know what she's doing. Or he don't know what he's doing. I'm like,
someone else messed up. Yeah.
You don't know what you're doing. Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
So Donald, we got to turn our attention. It is night one of the NFL draft tonight, and so take us back to your experience with the NFL draft. 6th rounder, right?
I wish.
Yeah. You should have been. You should have been 1st rounder.
Yeah.
7th rounder. And what was your experience through the draft process?
Stressful. Because I went to a small school, right? I didn't go to the Power 5 conference schools, right? So. I knew that journey was going to be a little bit difficult. But when teams call you and tell you they like you and they're going to draft you in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th round, you just sit there and wait. And then you don't get those calls, and all of a sudden, it's the 7th round, and you're still just waiting, right? And the phone just happened to ring with the Packers having the 213 pick, and I was the last pick for the draft, for them that year. And when I got the phone call from Ron, it was one of the greatest moments of my life because my life was changing, right? Regardless of where you get drafted, your life is completely changed. And then you just got to go out there and hoping that, you get there, you got to make the team now. And I didn't know all that. So it's kind of like, I thought if I got drafted, I was on the team for 3 years. I signed a 3-year contract, but that's not what it is. It says a 7th-round draft pack. You still have to go out there and perform. And you got to go out there and perform well. If not, you're going to get cut. And I just had the pleasure of having some veterans around me like Robert Brooks, Derek Mays, right? And Antonio Freeman that kind of just walked up to me and was like, hey, you got to make this team. Just because you're a draft pick, you do not make it. And I'm like, what? Like, hold on. So I gave my signing bonus, my little $8,000 signing bonus. I gave it to my mom to kind of spread it around to the family, because I was thinking of my $125,000 first-year contract. I was excited. But then he told me I had to make the team. I had to call my mom and say, hey, I may need that money back. So hold on that money for a second, right? Yeah. But I'll say this, man. It's the greatest experience of your life. I think a lot of these young guys right now, this is their dream. Every kid dreams of this. And so Mason went through it as well. And so when you go through that, you just you got to embrace the moment because you're not going to get this back. But you got to go into this also knowing, you're not going to be perfect. You're going to make mistakes, and that's what happens in training camp. And guys get down on themselves. And that's where the mental side comes into this game. And so you got to always remember that it's okay. You're going to have mistakes, but It's how you make the, overcome that and bounce back for the next day. So, it's gratitude, man. You got to enjoy every moment.
Donald, I had a question for you. Donald Driver, Packers Hall of Famer, joining us here on the Mason Crosby Show. The Packers do not have a first-round pick this year because they got Micah Parsons. I think everyone's cool with that trade-off. No one's really freaking out anymore. But I wanted to ask you about the draft process as a guy who was a day 3 pick and leading up to that moment. How much of that is, like, how much communication did you have with a bunch of teams in the NFL before, maybe not just the Packers, but did you have, an inkling like Packers are going to take me at some point? It could be anywhere from round 5 to 7, or you thought you were going to go to Pittsburgh because of how the conversations went with them. Like, how you talk about how stressful it is because you have all these feelers and you have to work still to get there when you are a late round pick. Like, how much of it did you feel confident Green Bay was going to be the team to take you eventually on draft day?
No, I didn't. I didn't have that confidence at all, right? I think the confidence came from when Kansas City called me and said, hey, brought me in, told me they're going to work me out. I worked out at Kansas City, and I thought that was the one, right? And then the 49ers called the day before the first day of the draft, said, hey, Drive, we got to, we're looking at you in the second day. That didn't happen. They called the second day. They told my dad, hey, we're looking to grab him, the 4th pick in the 4th round. And I mean, the first pick in the 4th round, and that didn't happen, right? And so at that point, you're like, am I good enough? You start questioning yourself, right? And so through the process, I was able to just walk through it. And then, I worked out for the Packers separately. I had 18 scouts come down, work me out as a team, and then the Packers just happened to come down last. Alonzo Highsmith was my guy. I told him, I said, Alonzo, listen, hey, man, come in and get me. I promise you, if the Packers draft me, I promise I'll give them everything I got. And I never thought that the Packers would draft me. Never in 100 years, But it happened. And I think this was where I needed to be. And so I think it's going to be the same process when you go through with the Packers this year, right? I mean, not having a first-round draft pick, you got to accept that. I think that's the key. But we got a great defensive player in that trade. But having the 52 pick in the 2nd round, that's a great opportunity for them to figure out like where they need fit. And, we know that they probably need another corner. Someone was talking about they may need a wide receiver, when you let your best receiver go, Dobbs, and then you trade Wicks to Philly. I mean, it just continues to happen. And so you just never know where they're going to pick in, but defense win championships, so I think if we can get another corner, maybe another edge rusher, and then down the road, you can see in those late round picks, you can probably grab another good receiver like myself that could come in and perform and be a great resource to that team.
Man, Drive, like what you said about those veteran guys, I still remember, coming to Green Bay, and obviously you're established at that time, already, in the middle of a great career, but you never lost that mentality, right? It's like you go out and like I always remember you're like, I need to practice. Like I want to be on that practice field, getting those reps, earning that spot all the time. And I talk about this all the time with these later round draft picks, 2nd, 3rd, and further down the line. It's like that's like the heart of your team, right? Like those are the guys that are going to show up every day, give that juice, and make sure that they are earning that spot all the time. And it's funny with the Packers, at least you had a workout with them. When they called me in the 6th round, like I had one conversation. I don't even think any representatives for the Packers came and watched me at my pro day at Colorado. So they were not on my radar at all whenever I got that phone call in the 6th round. And I'm not sure if that's the Packers way, like in a sense. Like I bet most guys that get drafted by the Packers, they're like, oh man, they didn't talk to me much. They just kind of had us on their board. They don't want anyone knowing who they're going to go get down the line. So how did you continue though to kind of keep and shape that mentality through the course of a career that obviously was Hall of Fame worthy? Like what was the mindset that kind of kept driving you in that direction?
I always put myself on the bubble. Regardless, I was 7, 8, 9 years in, I still put myself on the bubble because we were still drafting receivers. I mean, it's not like we weren't drafting anybody, right? I mean, when you think about, all the guys that came in after, during that process, I mean, we drafted Javon Walker was the first pick, right? He comes in, it's me, him, Terry Glenn, and he's coming in like, hey, I'm the number 1 pick. And we like, oh boy, you better get behind us and, wait your turn. Right. and so then, you just constantly having this Robert Ferguson, Terrence Murphy, it's just kept just kept coming in. Guys started coming in. And then all of a sudden, we just started realizing, like, I was like, man, you know something? I can't watch the draft because it frustrates you, right? It's not like we don't have the weapons or we need more weapons. I just stopped watching the draft once I got drafted. I never watched the draft again. It didn't matter who they drafted, right? I was like, you got to come and take my spot. I'm not going to give it to you. All the organizations are going to have to give it to you, but I'm not going to give it to you. And I think for that what kept me driving, kept my drive going. I mean, you know it, Mason. My last year in Green Bay, and I think Jordy and JJ and Cobb and all those guys, they would tell you straight up, they would be like, no, we didn't take drive spot. The Packers gave it to us, and I understood that. I knew that they were going in a different route. It's the same thing when your career came to a certain point, right? Yep. It's like, hey, they're going to either try to force you out of this thing where you cause havoc and they get you out of there, or you do the nice way and you just walk away and knowing that it's okay, right? And I think for me, I sat in the room with my receiver group and say, listen, there's no animosity between us. I want you guys to go out there and ball. I understand this is a business, but if it happens to me, it's going to happen to you. And it's going to be okay. And I promise you, everybody's going to be okay at the end of the day. And that's what happened. So that drive just kept going. So then when I was able to understand that, hey, my spot is not being taken, but it's being given to other guys because these are young guys that's really got great talent. And I want the best for each one of those guys. I knew I had to step away. And so it was easy for me not to have a grudge and go play for another organization, but just walk away and say, you know something? I gave this organization 14 great years, right? I owe it to the fans because in 2000, I promised the fans that I would never wear another color but the green and gold. So when you do that, you got to be loyal, right? And so I was able to walk away, even though 10 teams called me and was like, Drive, we know you're not done playing. What do you want to do? And I just said, I can't do it. I can't. I got to wear the green and gold, and I'm going to walk away knowing that I'm done and hoping that I may get a call back just in case. And so training camp came. Jordy gets hurt. I thought my phone was going to ring. I said, probably I should have called Mason and be like, Mason, what's going on up there? Tell me what's going on. Can I get in the building? But no, I was able to understand it. And so Rob was like, nope, they're not going to bring you back. So I was okay.
The Packers are good at breakups, at times, like with the guys that have been there a long time, like, same situation with my deal, right? It's like kickers struggling. They draft a guy and it's like, everyone's like, why didn't you come back? And it's like, well, the phone never rang. I mean, it's
it wasn't your choice.
You can't just show up and demand that contract.
The codes, Mason, the codes chain, man. You can't punch that 4-digit code no more.
Exactly. I tried. My fingerprint didn't work. Nothing worked over there.
It's more like an Irish goodbye. It sounds like.
They just,
you guys are
just take off.
Calling it here. Driver, I had a question for you as far as you talked about some impactful veteran leadership for you coming into the NFL, and then you assumed that role when you were at the end of your career as well in that wide receiver room. And that's something that over the last 3 years, the Green Bay Packers, it feels like, have kind of ignored getting veterans in there. They've been the youngest team in the NFL. They've come up short now. They've been a 7 seed the last 3 years, 1 playoff win over that time. Is that something that you think is important in a locker room? Because we've heard Mason reference it a bunch, talking about veteran leadership and, kind of establishing a culture in a clubhouse, in a locker room. And is it something that you think Green Bay just is trying something different, didn't value that in the moment? They don't want to go that direction. It's something they should improve upon. I just wanted your thought on the Packers being such a young organization over the last 3 years or so and kind of going away from getting some veterans in that locker room.
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing I've always learned about the organization, they've always realized they build in-house, right? I think we've all seen that, right? They're not going to go out and chase veteran guys. It's never been that market. Maybe you get 1 or 2, and I think it showed with Micah Parsons coming in, right? That was your 1. So I think that's how they've always done it. You'll never see a guy. When Charles Woodson came in, we brought in Charles Woodson, and that was a niche to get us to where we need to go, and that gets to a Super Bowl. So you don't bring in 50, you don't bring in 3 or 4 or 5 guys. That's just not what the organization has ever done. And I think that's what they're stuck to, and that's their guns. And again, right, it's allowed us to be successful. So now we got to figure out like what's going to get us over that hump, right? Being in the playoffs every year and just not reaching the full potentials. I think we all know that when Love took over, we were 1 play away from going back to the Super Bowl. Like nobody would ever expect 1 pick away in the rainy conditions. If one of those picks get caught, the game is over. We win, right? And so I just think it's one of those things. It's kind of just trying to climb over that hill, and you keep getting to right at the top of it, and you just slide right on back down. And I think this is where I think now the opportunity for those guys. And so leadership, I mean, you think about the receiver room, Christian Watson is your leader. He's been there enough time.
Yep.
He's got to be, right? And so you got to have that one guy that can just step up and be a voice. And so,
Nice.
Love is that guy, but you need that one guy to step up and do it. And I think he can do that in the receiver room to get those receivers where they need to be.
Donald Driver with us on the guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. All right, Drive. My sister-in-law this weekend is in a Dancing with the Stars event in Jacksonville as a fundraiser. What advice do you have for my sister-in-law, Sunny, who is in a fundraiser Dancing with the Stars event this weekend in Jacksonville?
Enjoy the moment. That's all you can do, right? You've done all the hard work. You've done the dances. You've done the fundraising. Now just enjoy the moment. And don't be, you're going to make mistakes. It's going to be fun, but just enjoy the moment. And I think if she does that, she'll dance well. Just
like game day, go out and perform. Now the fun part, all that hard work's done. Now you just get to go out there and have fun. Drive, before we let you go, I want you to just kind of throw out there like where everyone can find the information so they can go try out for these teams. And then I wanted to know, I was looking a little bit more at like professional women's flag football. Do you have any like vision or hope of getting more involved in that space, like getting to that next level? Or are you just loving trying to do this developmental side and kind of the starting off and the pathway for these young women to get involved in the sport?
Yeah, I think I just kind of love the development side of it, man. I think if time goes on and I want to get into the professional level of this thing, I probably will. But man, just loving these girls, giving these girls an opportunity to have a bigger platform and than they ever expected, then this is where it is, right? And so for us, especially as men, a lot of women don't think men support them. They're like, oh no, they just want to be the kings on the castle. But man, you need a lot of queens. And so for me, it's like, how do I get those queens to be where they need to be? And so I want to put them there. And so if I can create this development program, then I think it's going to go on to be a successful opportunity for them. And so, Racing Kenosha and Whitefish Bay right now is going to be the one that we kick it in this fall. And so we're gonna blossom, man. We're gonna blossom, and these girls you're gonna look back. And I just want to be able to say I was a small token, right, in what these women went on to accomplish. And so if I can give them an opportunity to go play college flag football, but then also get a great education, and who knows, we look back 10 years from now, one of these girls can be on that USA team, right? And now they'd be like, wow, I came from Wisconsin. And because of Mr. Driver giving us this opportunity, but not just me, because it's going to take a village to make this happen, right?
For
so
sure.
If we can get the state to approve it and sanction, just imagine how many now girls are going to play right here in the state of Wisconsin. And it's not going to leave. They're going to go to Marquette, or they're going to end up going down to, Madison, playing for the Badgers, or they're going to stay in the local community with all the smaller schools. And so, because a lot of people don't like leaving home, they want to be around their family.
Yeah.
And so this gives them that opportunity.
Drive, this is absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time today. Thanks for all you're doing in the community, and we'll definitely catch up with you soon.
Appreciate it, fellas. Thank you guys for having me
on.
on.
Drive. See you this summer. Appreciate you.
That's Donald Driver. Awesome stuff he's doing. We got to get to break, but when we come back, all sorts of things still to come on the Mason Crosby Show.
Let's do it.
This is the Mason Crosby Show. I'm Mitch Nellis. He's Mason Crosby. Tommy Works is here as well. Man, this is an all-time song. How about, every time Drive's on, I just learn something new, I feel like.
Yeah, he's crushing it. He's similar to how I am. I think in retirement, it's just busier than ever.
Retirement's stupid.
Just taking more things on.
I'm gonna get busier, not less busy.
Just move to the next thing.
Yeah, you guys are crazy. All right, we got a break.
All right. All right, we'll see you at the new
Weather on the Fan brought to you by Integrity Exteriors. 78 and partly cloudy in Hales Corners. Going to get sunny this afternoon, but some rain overnight between 1 and 5. So there'll be some rain for your flowers, I guess. That's Weather on the Fan brought to you by Integrity Exteriors.
A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook and on the free Odyssey app.
Welcome into hour number 2 of the Mason Crosby Show, or High Noon in Boulder.
Yep, good. Yes, you picked another town.
I mean, Boulder was pretty low-hanging fruit there I mean, it's high noon. It's high noon 24 hours a day in Boulder. Let's go.
Nice.
Let's
yeah.
go.
I got it.
You get it now? You get it, Tommy?
I'm Mitch Nellis. He's telling me where it's Mason Crosby. Mason, what's your hat today?
Pebble Beach.
Oh, nice. Okay. Thought you might go Packers tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll go Packers tomorrow. Yeah, I'll be in Packer game.
I wore like a Green Bay shirt, but I got like a Packers shirt for tomorrow.
Okay,
So,
yeah, we'll be down. I'll wear my jersey. It'll be good.
Yeah, number 2. Not Bryce String. This is the Mason Crosby.
Bryce stinks.
He's terrible. He's the worst player on the team
They're
today.
facing Scooble, guys.
You're facing Scooble.
Well, I mean, he stunk last night. Like Bryce, I mean,
Got
why
on
couldn't
base
he hit a
twice.
grand slam?
And he's got.
Why couldn't he hit a grand slam? Bases loaded to win the game. Like,
You know what? He's just not him yet. All right,
No,
we need to. We have expectations, and he is not achieving those
I
expectations.
don't condone any of this conversation right now.
Yet. This is the Mason Crosby Show. I'm Mitch Nellis. He's telling me where it's Mason Crosby here as well. Joining us now on the guest hotline, Bobby Belt, Dallas Cowboys insider for 105.3, the fan and co-host of Sean and RJ in Dallas. And happy draft day to you, Mr. Belt.
Yeah, these that 20th pick is pretty sweet in exchange for a double-digit edge rusher, double-digit sack guy.
Hey, you got Rashawn Gary too. That's awesome.
Yes.
Hey, I think Rashawn Gary is going to be pretty solid for them. So that's not the worst thing in the world.
Don't believe it. Don't try to do it to yourself. We've been doing it for 4 years, man. I'm sorry.
We're trying to stop the run over here.
He could look good over there on that turf. Yeah. So, yeah, we were going to talk about all that. I mean, it's going to be a pretty exciting day for y'all here tonight. You know, you got 2 picks there in this first round. And do you think, Jerry, anything crazy is going to happen? Is one of those picks going to be moving out?
Is Jerry awake? Is Jerry awake?
Yeah. He'll be awake. They'll give him a sheet to look at. I think it's funny. They've as bad as they were last year, which at times they were really, really bad. It's tough to swallow that as bad as you were last year, you're still going to be the 4th pick in the NFC East tonight, which is a little difficult to swallow if you're in this division. But no, I think that my best guess is they're going to stand pat at 12, and if they can't trade back from 20, they'll stand pat at 20, and they'll try to make whatever the board lays before them. Otherwise, if they were to go up, I would imagine it would only be to like 9, and that'd just be a little swap with the Chiefs, try to swap spots in the first round. But otherwise, they want to pick twice in the first round. That's a big priority of theirs tonight.
Yeah, because that 12 spot is a little tricky. I mean, the top 10 is obviously really solid, and there's a lot of good prospects there. But what do you think? What are you seeing for those 2 picks in the first round? What are their needs? And do you think they can hit any home runs there?
Well, I'll tell you what, they could use a pass rusher. That's one thing they could use. That'd be great if they could have that.
That'd be good, yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that for them, honestly, it's anything on defense. If you just want to look at if they rolled the ball out there tomorrow and had to play football, what do they have to cover all their bases? Like, do they have 11 players on defense, 11 players on offense that they could go out there tomorrow and play with? They've got 11 on offense. They got 10 on defense because they do not have another starting linebacker. So in theory, I think Sonny Styles getting to them from Ohio State. They'd love that at 12. If they could get Mansour Delane from LSU to slide to him, they'd love him as a guy who can play the nickel, can play outside. Their number one dream would be Caleb Downs from Ohio State. If they could get Downs to them to play safety, play in the box some, to play nickel, to play outside, he would be a full-time nickel here essentially, and then in base defense, he'd play safety. But I think he'd be their dream. The problem is just that the board doesn't really look favorable to them sliding to them at 12 right now. So then you start looking at, wipeout options, which maybe that's Dylan Thieneman, the safety from Oregon. I think there is an instance, as stunning as it would be to everybody else, I think there is a pathway where they could pick Jordan Tyson, the receiver from Arizona State. So there's a couple different ways they can go with that. And then 20 would be completely dependent on what did they address at 12. If they got a linebacker, they probably go secondary. If they got a corner at 12, they probably go defensive line at 20. And so it's all just kind of dependent on what they do at 12.
Yeah, so from like a Cowboys fan perspective, I was asking these guys, just thinking from like a Packer fan perspective, we got Micah Parsons, gave up that first round pick. So we know what we got for that. But you're going to kind of look at that like from a fan perspective and say like, okay, Micah Parsons is amazing, but what could you have gotten, right? And so from a Cowboys perspective, I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of fans hanging on that pick. Like, how do you start building this thing back after you gave away your all-pro, defensive end and pass rusher and Micah Parsons? Do you think there's do you think there's pressure? There's always pressure in Dallas, right? I mean, Dallas is a pressure cooker from a fan perspective, but do you think there's more pressure on a pick like that to try to say this pick actually identifies like the trade for Micah Parsons?
So I think you're actually tapping into a fascinating psychological question in the DFW sports area, because you've got, this is the great Dallas sports fans proved in the last 9 months that a fan base is capable of getting somebody fired, because they got Nico Harrison fired here in Dallas for the Luka Doncic trade. If there was not the public pressure on them for that, he never gets fired. They allow him to just keep going. It honestly shined a light, forced Patrick Dumont, their owner, to take a closer look at how the organization was running, and he was fired for it. Fans did that actively. Pressure did that. Dallas, if you crank up that similar pressure on the Cowboys, who's answering for it? Because your owner and your GM is the same person. And so there's a little bit of insulation of like, as long as you can handle it personally and psychologically, the heat from the fan base, there's never pressure on the job because you've got it in place. You're holding the keys to that. So that's whether they feel that, I don't know. I don't know if they feel that kind of pressure. I think that they would like to swing this as, whoever they get at 20. Let's say that ends up being Keldrick Falk from Auburn, the defensive lineman. Then what they would like to point to that as is they would say, well, look, essentially what we did was we traded Micah Parsons for Kenny Clark and kind of Rashawn Gary and kind of Keldrick Falk. And we also took those picks and we flipped it into Quinnen Williams. So in essence, this was Micah for Kenny, Quinnen, Rashawn Gary and Keldrick Falk. And that's how we're going to talk about it. And that's how they would present it. So I think for them, and I don't know how much you guys ran into this in Green Bay last year with Micah, there's a little bit of Micah can do things his own way sometimes, and I think that can run afoul from the Cowboys and frustrate them at times, similarly to what they're running into with George Pickens right now. And because of that, I think that they would say, you know what, all the money and having Quinnen and some of these others, we would still take that at the end of the day, even though I think most of the fans would say they would not take that trade at the end of the day still.
You can only they can only withstand one major ego in that building,
right?
Overseeing the
how it is,
it starts getting a little competitive in that ego space after a while there. But so let's talk about the draft in general. It's moving cities as it has been for the last few years. In Green Bay last year, now it's in Pittsburgh. We talked to somebody on the ground there in Pittsburgh earlier in the show. do you get up for the draft? Is this like a time of year as a fan, as a sports, like a radio host? Is this something that you love, or is it just kind of like, okay, there's a lot of buildup, there's a lot of energy, and then it's kind of the same old thing every year?
No, it's actually my favorite time of year. So we had at our station, we've got a guy who works for us, Brian Broaddus. He was in the Packers front office years ago. He was in their personnel department during the 90s and stuff like that. And Brian always says that, he's like, this game would be great if you didn't have to like play the games. Like, it'd be awesome, like free agency and all these draft picks you fall in love with. It'd be awesome if you just never had to play and you could just project who you want, put them together, and that's the draft.
Fantasy football without the actual playing in the game. Yeah, never
have the results. You just get to look and go like, man, I like this team I put together. Now I don't have to see if it actually worked. And that's the thing. This is a great time of year to me. I love following all the buzz that exists. I love keeping up with all the potential of these players and the hope that I think it brings everybody. It's similar to like baseball opening day. Like, there's no more optimistic time in baseball than opening day. Everybody feels like we're all equal. There's so much that we like about this team. Nothing's gotten in our way yet. Kids are out of school. It's for football, that's the draft to me, of just like, man, what could this player be? And we don't actually have to get an answer and see it for 5 months. It's 5 months of just unadulterated positivity about potential. And so I think that's a good time to be around it. And yeah, it's exhausting because the next 3 days I'll be on DallasCowboys.com with them, and we'll just be 18 hours of broadcasting essentially covering the draft. But it's fun to keep up watching the board and seeing what kind of things happen. So yeah, I personally love this time of year.
It's hard not to love it though. Like everything you said, where you are literally just creating hope for a player getting a new opportunity in an exciting new city, and like going and trying to get themselves accustomed to where they're going to live, and like the fan base and all of that. And like you said, it's all projection. We're just saying, is this going to work? Everyone's healthy. Everybody's in a good space. You can have a couple beers and have a good time, and then the real stuff starts happening in August, and come September, and then we get to see, and you see behind the curtain and see what these players actually are. So I love that perspective from you.
Yeah, and I think that's honestly the only thing that saved them from the Micah trade, was if the Micah trade would have been just straight up for players. Those are players that people have already developed opinions about and everything else. Whereas what he was traded for was 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark. And so then it's like, well, I didn't want to get rid of Micah, but who could those be? That could be just a fun mystery box that we get to open. Maybe that'll be better than Micah. Who knows? Maybe you'll get 2 Micahs. And so it's sure. It's completely irrational. But I love that. It's all you have. Hope is all you have this time of year. But that's the thing, is that everybody, short of if, like I said, if you pick Keldrick Falk, I don't know that everybody's coming out of this super happy because they've already developed their opinions about it. But like, there's nobody with a higher approval rating in DFW right now than Caleb Downs. If Caleb Downs is a Cowboy tomorrow, fans are going to be elated until the games are played and until an assignment busts or whatever else. And so, but this right now is just, I think, generally a really good time for Cowboys fans and really any fan base right now to just be able to say, there's so much before us that feels like, optimistic that we can tap into.
We got Bobby Belt down there in Dallas. We're talking about the draft, talking about this Micah Parson trade and all the implications. Everything you're saying. So here this last week, I don't know if you have kids, but my girls have gotten into those little the squishy buns, right? Where you go and you buy it, and then they have to do their like reveal, right? And it's that's what everything you're saying just reminds me of my week with all my daughters. I had to go and buy these stupid squishy bun things.
Yeah, you did.
And they revealed them to everybody. So they would give themselves like a surprise like 5 times. It was like they'd show me and we'd get excited. And then they're like, all right, I'm putting it back in the box and I'm going to go and show it to my sister. I'm like, this is ridiculous. But I think that's the world we live in, is it's all squishy buns. And we're just wanting to get that reveal going.
That's a perfect analogy. I think I'm going to steal that tomorrow. Yeah, this is the Cowboys' chance to reveal their squishies and to just open them up and show people like, look, guys, we got this. And yeah, who knows? couple months from now, the fad may fade. It'll be like, I don't want the squishy. I want the guy who gets 13 sacks a year. But, you know, for tonight, the squishy will be fun.
How many squishies does Micah Parsons get?
How many sacks for the squishies? My younger daughter and her friend went on Sunday afternoon. They were like, we're going to Target. We're going hunting for squishies.
I would love to think like the Dallas Cowboys war room is just like, Jerry, I know there's Micah, but like, look at this joy that comes from squishy every year.
Look, I think everybody would understand the draft a lot easier if you just spoke in terms of squishies. And like, if you could just like, look, imagine these, and then, I think that would work.
This guy is like the gold, sparkly, like squishy. He's very rare. It's we have high hopes for this one.
He's got a little bit of an ego, but
yeah, exactly.
It's all around. Bobby Belt joining us here on the Mason Crosby Show. Bobby, you got anything that you think you want to make a prediction just for anything in the NFL draft today? I know Mendoza, the draft really starts at pick number 2. No one knows what the Jets are going to do, but any prospect you might like more than any other ones or something along those lines?
Or is Aaron Rodgers jumping out of an airplane over Pittsburgh with like with a cape, a Pittsburgh Steeler cape? That is, that'd
be too high energy. I think I think my idea of him, they have like the darkness room, like the cabin on stage, and it's like that, the reveal, like it just opens up and it just comes out with smoke.
I think it's perfect. It's laying out right there for him. I think he'd live stream, make his announcement from the McCarthy family bar in Pittsburgh. I think that'd be a good play. No, I think I'll say this. I don't anticipate it'll happen, but if you want something to keep it, don't rule out Dallas taking offense at one of their picks. I know that there's a thought that, hey, they've just got to go all defense. I think that's what most people would want. I would not be stunned if 12 was possibly a receiver. And if it was, George Pickens may have played his last football game in Dallas. Ooh. And then that 20, depending on who they go, 20 maybe it ends up being some sort of an offensive lineman. I don't think that those are the likely scenarios, but I think that that's at least something that could potentially play out. And if you want one more, let's go bold prediction. Omar Cooper goes before Mekhi Lemon, the receiver, because I know a lot of teams like Omar Cooper, the Indiana receiver.
All right. Nice. All right. My question to you on that front, because we joke about the Jets, everybody does. Do you think they make a correct pick here? Do you think they make a good pick?
How do they screw this up? Yep.
Man, it feels hard to screw it up because I think both of them are really, really good, David Bailey and Arvell Reese, but there's margins to screw it up. Arvell Reese is kind of raw, so you need somebody to really oversee him.
Well, Aaron Glenn wears those capri pants. He could probably get it done.
Yeah. Look,
Carson Beck second.
I think my favorite stat. I think my favorite stat is no matter who the Jets draft this year in the secondary, they probably had more interceptions than their entire team last year. And I think that says something about that. But David Bailey is known as a little bit of a hothead in NFL circles and a hot temper. And so I don't know that that's going to mix necessarily well with the New York media. So either one of those could technically be ruined by the context of the Jets and New York. So it's certainly possible, but I think that they do enough to ruin things on their own that I hope they wouldn't do that to two really good players like Arvell Reese and David Bailey.
All right, Bobby Belt, Cowboys insider for 105.3 The Fan and co-host of Sean and RJ. I know you're a Cowboys guy, but how is Cooper Flagg this year? And is Dallas excited about Cooper?
I keep trying to draw this analogy, and it's not a popular one here in Dallas. I really like Cooper Flagg. I do. Yep. But you ever watch the movie or a TV show where like maybe there's this single mom that's like really hard on the kid and you're like, what did I do? What's wrong with you? And then at some point the mom is just like, you just look too much like your daddy who left me or whatever. Like Cooper Flagg looks too much. Looking at Cooper Flagg just reminds me that Luka left. And so he's awesome, but it looks a little bit too much like I can't. I love him. He's great in a vacuum, but there's also a little bit of me that just goes, you're supposed to be Luka.
So like when the Bucks trade Giannis and they win the lottery and they get like AJ DeBonsa or whoever it is, like we're gonna hate him because he's just gonna remind us that we had.
Yeah, you're gonna say, why are you not 6'11" and 290 pounds and able to run up and down the court?
Man,
I love that.
Cooper Flag
It's
just
so
had to
good.
be from Maine. He just had.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah,
Oh,
it's just you just that's what I say every time I see him. Like, you look too much like your daddy. I wish you were Lucas.
I don't love you the way I should.
I can't.
The Slovenia. It's the Slovenia of America.
It is.
Yes,
Maine
exactly.
Really is the Slovenia of America. Well, Bobby, thank you so much for jumping on today. Happy draft day. Enjoy the first round. We are going to take a nap here in Wisconsin, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah. Enjoy Micah.
Yes, thank you. Bobby Belt, again, Cowboys Insider for 105.3 The Fan, co-host of Sean and RJ. There in Dallas, and great perspective there.
Yeah.
And, not just Cooper Flag, but
the Cooper Flag take was amazing.
That was the cherry on the Sunday. Like the whole, everything else was great about the Cowboys, but that was just the cherry on the Sunday of Bobby Belt.
Man, that was so good.
Like they had to get the next white generational talent.
That's exactly. That's how
just
that
can't
works.
look at him. Can't even see his talent because it's just should be Luka.
Oh,
unbelievable. Man. He's Mason Crosby. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis. David Hamilton just bunted for a hit because that's all he can do.
Hey,
hey,
do what you do, man.
That's right. Bunt for a hit is great. This is the Mason Crosby Show. This was when I was a kid. This was one of my all-time favorite intros to a song.
This is
Money for Nothing by Dire Straits.
Yeah. So when I was working across the street, this was the outro to Dave Ramsey.
Oh,
so
okay.
it kind of like takes me back to that.
Yep.
It's 11:59 at night, and I just want to go home.
That's like Born in the USA. Born in the USA was the outro to Homer and Thunder.
Yeah,
so.
just makes me want to go home whenever I hear this song.
Hey, can take off, dude. You're
Kidding.
good.
Kidding.
You worked hard enough today.
Yeah, you hosted a show. You're here. You're going to host another show. You're going to rant and rave about William Contreras.
Oh, my
who
God.
you're very mad about.
Dude.
So does that count as an on base for Bryce Terang?
No, it does not.
So it's a fielder's choice?
Right. It's it's got to help your on base percentage in that way. So it had to be a walk or a hit.
He did reach base, though.
But he's on base. Yeah, he extended his streak.
He does not extend the streak on that.
Oh, I thought he already got.
No, it's an 0 for 1.
No, so yeah, it's like he got out because they still recorded
because
and
somebody else got it out.
Is David Hamilton ever going to actually swing a bat again this year?
He ripped one to right.
Is he just gonna bunt and get on?
He should just bunt.
I mean, it's 3-0 count on Tarek Skubal, widely regarded as one of the best pitchers in the league.
Why swing there? Right?
Back to back.
Are you swinging, William? That was
Skubal was scared of him. I mean, he was it was like all outside the corner, like trying to just pitch around him. Don't swing at that.
That is not Bill. Bill did not swing at that. Bill did not swing at that. William swung at that.
That was William. Yeah.
Wilson would have swung at that.
Yeah, he would have fought. He would have fought the baseball in midair.
He would have punched it. This is the Mason Crosby Show here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Our studio is powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Last night, the Brewers found themselves in a hole. They were down 5-2. They loaded the bases in the top of the 9th inning, and Bryce Terang chopped out to first. And I think many Brewers fans just kind of assume that Terang's going to hit a grand slam. Like,
or at least score a run or two, right? Like I'm thinking the double's coming. Yeah, exactly.
Mason, I know that you have to explain to people sometimes that like kicking a 52-yard field goal just isn't quite that easy. I mean, yeah, it looks easy because you make it look easy. Bryce Terang makes it look easy quite often, but it's not quite that easy, is it?
No, he is not hitting off a tee. So somebody else is also pitching against him, and it's a huge moment. All those things. I do like to think, okay, if he hits a grand slam there, and they win that game, again, we talk about that contract. Does that contract that we think maybe he would take, that needs to be in his locker when he walks in there. Like if I'm the Brewers right now, I'm just literally placing a contract for 5 years, $100 million in his locker every day until maybe he just gets tired of it. And he's like, all right, I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'll just sign it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Like you got to force it.
And a bronze, like, do you put a bronze Bryce next to the bronze Fonz statue in downtown Milwaukee? Do you do that if he had hit that grand slam?
Because I mean, if he goes and hits that grand slam, then it's like, okay, what else can Bryce Terang do to earn whatever
he does
contract?
There's he has nothing left to do. He might as well retire actually if he hit.
Do you guys notice the home plate umpire? His name is spacing on me right now, but he's at third base obviously today as they go in the clockwise fashion. So I think it was Mike Machlinski. Yeah, is that how you say his name?
Just made that name up.
Something like that.
Just made that up.
He was like, anytime there was a time call, he's like, whoa, time, and like threw his mask off.
Last night?
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. I mean, just ridiculous.
Like the theatrics?
Just ump show the whole time. Okay.
He loves the drama, man. Are you anti? Did you not listen to Devin Booker last night? Just rail against the refs.
By the way, Aaron Ashby's coming in, so it's a day that ends in Y.
Or last name that ends in Y.
I'm just saying that. Do you think that would throw you off as a hitter, and you do that in the middle of a 1-1 count with 2 outs in the 9th inning to make a substitute on the base paths? Would throw you off a little bit at the plate, because that's exactly what happened when Pat Murphy waited until
that was really weird.
That was
Did
really
they explain
weird.
that in post game at all? Did anybody ask?
No one asked about it. I just want to say that I love Pat Murphy. I think he is
love Pat Murphy.
The guy for the job in Milwaukee. That was a big miss yesterday. Kind of throws a bunch of stuff off when you do that. You should have known the situation. And if you're not going to be the guy locked in that moment, you need to have someone telling you, like, yo, we need a guy at first base for Luis Rengifo, because if there's a gapper here, it ties the game.
Who's Ricky Weeks?
Yeah.
Like who's this year? Who's there now?
I think Jason Lane, kind of.
Okay.
Because
Jason Lane makes sense.
He went over from third base to being inside the dugout throughout the game, but
yeah,
still,
there's got to be somebody in the dugout who is watching that and saying, "Oh wait, we're down 5-2. The runner on first base really matters,
and you got to do it right away, right?
Right. There's no to do it in the middle of an at bat is really awkward. Doesn't really happen. I understand maybe if you're trying to rattle the pitcher, but Kenley Jansen's been pitching for 743 years,
and he was already rattled.
Right, he was already throwing balls left and right. He was walking everybody.
Bases are loaded. Yeah.
That was a weird situation last night. So.
So like icing, they ice the batter.
Yeah, he kind of iced his own batter.
Okay,
as opposed because the pitcher didn't need icing. Like the pitcher was already a mess, and they kind of iced the batter a little bit there. 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Talking text line. We're talking some Brewers, but also we're talking Packers. It is draft day. It is the first round tonight. The Packers don't have any picks tonight, but they have a couple picks tomorrow night. So tomorrow night, Sparky and Charlie will be doing the Green Bay draft show. So they'll be doing the leadoff show.
Are they in studio or are they're
in
going
studio?
To okay.
Yeah, because they're doing the leadoff show. Then they're doing that right into the draft show. And then Sparky and Tim Allen will be doing the Potawatomi Sportsbook post-game show. Yeah. So Sparky was just like, can I get from one place to another? And it was just like, it was going to be too much with all. So it's Sparky tomorrow from 2 to midnight.
Yeah, big
Basically,
day.
2 to midnight is Sparky on the air tomorrow.
Big day from
Should
Sparky.
I call in?
2 to 11.
Can I call in?
On the
yeah,
air.
2 to 11.
2 to 11, I believe. Is something like
that.
That
is the plan.
So, yeah.
Unless Bryce Trang hits like 3 grand slams and they have to stay on for an extra.
Do you think
hour.
anyone in the draft, do you think guys someone falls asleep and then gets that call late and they're just like
a player?
Wait. Yeah.
Oh, there's gotta be guys in the 20s.
Woken up.
Like you're sitting around for 3 hours doing nothing, right?
Got a little wasted and then pick 60 of the second round and they're just like, oh, okay, yeah. Let me know where I need to go.
Thinking of Laramie Tunsil, was probably knocked out by pick 13 already by that time. But I mean, and especially team, what happens to the Raiders after pick 1 today, right? Do they're
just partying?
Is that what it is, right? I mean, you already know that
they don't have to.
You already know Fernando Mendoza is going to be the first pick. He's going to get his name called.
Those champagne bottles, they're already they're already ready for the party. I know those draft guys, those draft rooms. Adam, our nutritionist, the food guy up there in Green Bay. I mean, he talked about the food that was prepared for these draft parties. I mean, he'd fly it was the best. They'd have steaks, lobster. I mean, it was a party around that first round draft pick, right? You're kind of ready to roll, and it's probably the 2 or 3 guys that are going to fall in that spot, and you're just as soon as it comes, you kind of make that pick, and then you're kind of celebrating the rest of the evening.
Mason, I think I was eating booyah last year when Matthew
was that
Golden,
where were we at?
We're at
Anduzzi's.
Yes,
was that Anduzzi's out there in Schwamico?
Yeah, so I had a big bowl of booyah going on.
Yeah, you did.
Ty Simpson. Okay, so Ty Simpson's the quarterback from Alabama. Who will he go in the first round?
If there will be a second quarterback in the first round, it will be
Ty Simpson's the guy who could fall asleep. He's like, I've been called by everybody. All these teams want to take me at the beginning of the second round. Nobody's going to take me. I'm going to bed. And then all of a sudden, Miami or somebody just picks him with the 30th pick. And it's like, hey, Ty, you're our guy. And he's like, I was sleeping.
Yeah. Okay, great. Am I going to be the starter?
Do I need to do anything right now?
What am I
can
doing
I go back
right
to
now?
bed and I'll talk to you tomorrow?
If you're Pittsburgh, why wouldn't you take him in the first round? Right? I mean,
what are they? They're at 21.
They're at 21.
I feel like you could take a flyer on a quarterback there if you feel like you don't have your guy.
In the latest USA Today, it was just the first NFL mock draft that popped up. It had them taking an offensive tackle. Broderick Jones been dealing with his neck injury, and they're just looking for competition to add for this next year. You're doing that at a very valuable position already, like left tackle, and you have Aaron Rodgers presumably back for the 2026 season, who has experience grooming a quarterback to be ready to go. Why wouldn't you just take a flyer on a guy who is probably a top 30 prospect in the NFL draft this year and just try to make that transition easy. I don't know why.
Because they have Will Howard, dude. Like that. You weren't here for Chris.
No, I heard that. He was not happy about it. Like Chris, I loved Chris on
he was
today.
great.
Yeah, he was great. But I just it's kind of weird that when only one quarterback is set to go in this draft in the first round, guaranteed,
right?
Like, does that kill the NFL draft a little bit? I feel like you want to see quarterbacks taken as early as possible.
It's just been so heavy here the last
so
few
many
years.
young quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, like there's so many young guys on their first contract that were drafted in the first 10 picks over the last few years. So there's just not a lot of room for that kind of that elite. All right, you're coming in and you're going to be our guy, type of quarterback here in this draft.
I need Mel Kiper to freak out every pick after pick 15 that Ty Simpson isn't getting drafted.
Oh, he will. He'll be on the top of his board for a while.
The same way Shador was stealing the entire day last year.
I won't be. I mean, we got Whitefish Bay, Homestead, varsity softball 4:30.
Then you got to start coaching up flag football.
Right. Then I'm coaching 7 to 8:30. We got to practice for the 12s and 14s. So, Mason Crosby, what quarterback was taken directly after Aaron Rodgers in the 2005 draft?
Ooh,
directly after.
Yeah, I don't even.
One pick, 25th to the Redskins.
That's not Kirk Cousins.
No, out of Auburn.
Oh, I was gonna say Campbell.
Auburn.
It is Jason
Campbell.
Campbell, that's right. Yes, yeah, I remember. Yep,
he played for a while.
He was there for.
He was okay. Yeah,
3 or 4 years.
He was a serviceable quarterback. So Mason, you had brought this up earlier today, before the show. Like if Aaron Rodgers and Alex Smith had gone
what
1
if
and 2,
world?
Yeah, what would the 24th pick for the Packers look like? And I'll tell you the three Pro Bowlers who were picked near after Aaron at 24. Roddy White was picked 27th, the wide receiver to the Falcons.
Oh, yeah.
Heath Miller, tight end, was picked 30th to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Logan Mankins was picked 32nd, a guard out of Fresno State.
What a stacked class. Oh, my gosh. Especially in the back end there. Yeah. Heath Miller, screams he would have been loved in Green Bay. I mean, just
he would have been.
He would have.
White guys in Wisconsin.
Saying that, he's a very similar Tucker Kraft mentality, it feels like.
He's a tough guy.
So the what if world, Aaron goes where he wanted to go. He goes to San Francisco.
San Francisco. Alex Smith then goes to Miami.
Okay.
And then Ronnie Brown, Braylon Edwards, Cedric Benson, Cadillac Williams, Adam Pac-Man Jones.
Do you think? Okay, so Redskins at the time they take they could take Campbell.
Yeah.
Do you think the Packers take Campbell there still?
I don't think so.
You don't think if it's not Aaron Rodgers, they're not taking a quarterback there?
No, not in the first round.
And then my what if world, what I was telling these guys earlier is Aaron goes to the Niners. And what's wild, right, is Mike McCarthy was the offensive coordinator at the 49ers when they drafted Alex Smith.
Yep.
So what a wild world that we live in, that they draft a different quarterback. Then Mike ends up getting the job in Green Bay and ends up coaching Aaron Rodgers, who, and I always wondered this, and I never got into that conversation. I'm like, I wonder what Mike's conversation was there as offensive coordinator for the 49ers.
Like that first conversation.
Why did they take Alex Smith over Aaron Rodgers in that situation?
And then that first conversation when Mike came over to the Packers, when he's the guy who didn't draft Aaron Rodgers, was that a little weird? Or could have been way over his head. Matt Castle, by the way, was picked 230th in that draft, 7th rounder, quarterback out of USC.
I just golfed with Matt yesterday.
Same.
No, he's huge, by the way. I don't know.
Fat?
No. He is just he's like a large human being. Just I think he's 6. I don't know exactly 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, he's got to be 6'5".
He's huge.
Who are the 2 Pro Bowlers that were drafted after Mason Crosby in the 2007 NFL draft?
Wow, that's a great.
They're both specialists, to be fair. But
really,
I know you're not going to get a Mitch. You have 0% chance. But one was drafted by the Green Bay Packers.
They're specialists.
Mm-hmm.
After me and Green Bay.
By the way, Joe Thomas was picked 3rd overall.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
Calvin Johnson was 2nd.
I know,
and we all know who was 1st.
Our draft class was
Jamarcus Russell, the worst pick ever.
Joe Staley was in that, who longtime left tackle there.
Oh my gosh, there is a long snapper.
Yeah. It's Brandon Fields, punter for Miami for that time. And then the Packers drafted Clark Harris, who ended up being a long snapper and a Pro Bowler.
The Pro Bowl with the Bengals.
Yeah. Also undrafted Pro Bowlers, another long snapper, Matt Overton, and then another specialist, Eric Weems. Remember him?
Returning games.
Yeah. Nice. So those are all the Pro Bowlers that were after you, at least.
Okay. Well,
I'm still mad. Like, Mason, you can be mad or not. I'm mad
that I never got a Pro Bowl,
which is total garbage. It is
no kicker. Yeah,
it legit is total garbage.
I did not realize that Desmond Bishop went the pick before you.
Yeah, it was me. It was Bishop, Corey Hall, and myself in the
you went three
6th
picks in a row.
3 in a row in the 6th round.
191, 192, and 193 were all by the Packers.
Like I was telling Drive,
who
literally,
more?
Packers never contacted me the whole draft process. Like there was no world I thought I was going to Green Bay. Once Kansas City and Dallas, I'm like, I probably am not going to get drafted now. Like I just there was not a spot that I thought was looking for a guy. And so whenever I get that phone call from Green Bay, it was for sure a surprise.
Did Corey Hall ever play linebacker in the NFL? Or did they make him a fullback right away?
He went to fullback pretty quick.
Because he was a linebacker at Boise State.
Yeah, Corey and I were roommates through all the off season, and hung with him and Clark Harris a ton in that first. Clark's such an interesting guy.
Really?
Yeah, he's hilarious. Yeah,
I mean, you are part of one of the greatest draft classes ever. I mean, the first overall pick is pretty bad, right? Where it's Jamarcus Russell, but to Mitch's point,
Patrick Willis,
Patrick Willis,
Joe Staley,
Darrell Revis is in there. All of those, so 4 Hall of Famers. Adrian Peterson will be a Hall of Famer. Marshawn Lynch probably going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously,
I remember where I was during this draft. This was still Saturday, Sunday.
Winston, I think.
Right, Mace? This was still Saturday, Sunday draft. My wife was at a friend's wedding shower down in the northern suburbs of Chicago. So I dropped her off and I went to Champs Americana to watch the draft. And I just remember wanting the Packers to take Bobby Meacham, the wide receiver out of Tennessee.
Yeah.
And they ended up taking Justin Harrell, one of the worst first round. I mean, just like an absolutely.
That was a miss. Yeah.
And it was literally a miss the second it happened. Everyone knew. Mel Kiper and everybody were like, that's a disaster. He's hurt. And Andy stinks. And it was like,
he's a Tennessee guy. Maybe they just saw the wrong Tennessee. They just saw Tennessee
exactly.
And they accidentally sent the wrong thing.
Right. That was so weird that the Packers made that pick.
Does anyone remember Gaines Adams?
Adams?
I don't know if I've ever heard his name.
I remember him
defensive lineman.
Yeah, big dude.
Ted Ginn went 9th in that draft. That's crazy. He was unreal.
Was Hester in that? He was my year, wasn't he?
Ted Ginn led off the national championship game with a kickoff return for a touchdown.
He was ridiculous.
Yeah, he was so good.
Yeah,
just a little tight. He just was not. He wasn't shifty enough for the NFL. I think he was just more of a straight line.
I mean, he ended up having a long career.
Oh, he played a long time.
Yeah. You know who I wanted the Packers to take? It was Reggie Nelson, the safety out of Florida.
Yeah,
he
Reggie
used to
Nelson.
kill people. He was a headhunter a little bit, but man, he was great. And I was like, man, what?
Yeah, because we took Brandon Jackson the second.
Yeah.
Then it was James Jones.
Brady Quinn was a first-round pick in that one.
Yeah.
Then Dwayne Bowe, Brandon Merriweather, John Beeson, Joe Staley, Greg Olson, Paul Posluszny.
My first ever fantasy football team's name was somewhere over Dwayne Bowe.
I like it. Yeah, nice.
Over Dwayne Bowe. All right. Mason, let's get to Mason's extra points when we come back. We will wrap things up here on the Mason Crosby Show.
Oh, yeah.
That was a little fun memory lane.
Heck yeah.
What's on Mason Crosby's mind today?
Now I'm thinking.
It's time for Extra Points, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis.
Tell me what's on your mind.
On the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
All right, great Thursday on the Mason Crosby Show. We had a fun one. We had Donald Driver on talking about women's flag football coming to the great state of Wisconsin. That's going to be awesome. Can't wait to see all of Thunder's 2 girls just crushing it, getting scholarships,
It's
going
coming
and playing.
to Tennessee next, Mace. Your girls are getting into it for sure.
They're already playing down here.
Yeah.
They already have it rolling at the schools here in Tennessee. But Mitch, I just wanted to say, like you were going to be stuck with me one way or the other, because if I had gone out my junior year and left after my junior year, I would have probably been a New England Patriot.
Is that right? Is that where you would have gone?
Yeah. So you would have hated me, regardless of the situation.
I would have loved you as a Patriot.
You would have loved me as a Patriot.
You would have been a great Patriot.
Yeah.
Been who?
No, it was after Vinatieri. Yeah, he was already a Colt. So,
So
yeah, but
Gostowski.
this.
Yeah.
Goskowski, yeah. So, honestly, well, I'll tell y'all some more of these, some more stories tomorrow.
Are you watching tonight?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'll follow along. I don't know. I think we have some stuff going, but pretty low key night at the Crosby house. So, I'll turn it on and check it out. Again, what a cool time of year. I loved how our guy there in Dallas, Bobby Belt, kind of laid it out.
So great.
We're going to be opening up those little squishy buns of potential and hope.
Squishables. Let's go.
Yeah, until the games start playing, it's all just hope and dreams, and lots of guys' lives are being changed tonight. So really cool moment. Good luck to all these draft picks coming up. And Packers fans, we're going to have to wait till tomorrow till we get to see who they're bringing on.
Blake Perkins.
Blake Perkins. Don't forget, Green Bay Football Draft Show presented by Steam Fitters Local 601. Featuring Charlie and Sparky tomorrow evening right here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. That's going to be an absolute blast. He's Tommy Wirtz. He's Mason Crosby. The Brewers just tied things up. Let's go, Crew.
Let's go, Crew.
Yes.
I was
Hey, Rachel, I'm sorry.